Speaking of the powerful cabal of the news media, tech giants, higher education, and entertainment industry, they've always treated Donald Trump like he's an enigma or an abomination. Now, with the president's poll numbers dropping, they're going to start viewing him like a predator sees a wounded animal. You thought the bias was bad before, but the manipulation and brainwashing of the public is really about to begin. Over the next few months, the media is going to lionize Joe Biden. Just wait for it, believe me. He's going to be cast as the old Democrat warrior who's going to bring us back to a more civilized time in Washington, those heady days of jolly old Tip O'Neill and bipartisanship. After all, Joe Biden, they'll tell you, is a moderate. He's the safe choice. There'll be stories about his long service, about his moving personal narrative to form a contrast with the president. And in a coordinated effort with big tech, they'll gloss over his history of flip-flops on issues, wild shifts in opinions, his sudden lurch to the far left, his radical advisors, and of course, clear concerns that he's mentally declining. A new poll came out this week that showed nearly 40% of likely voters believe the Democrat nominee has some form of dementia. They'll refrain from asking the tough questions or even pushing the often confused former vice president to answer any questions at all. No, the Joe Biden who today embraces sanctuary cities from coast to coast, the environmental policies of Bernie Sanders and AOC, the education agenda of Elizabeth Warren, and taxpayer-funded abortions, will be replaced by the Joe Biden who was long an amiable and innocuous Washington establishment figure. He only speaks in public now when he's given a teleprompter speech written by somebody else. He only answers questions when he has notes just out of the frame of the cameras. He only talks to people who likely support him. He couldn't possibly be co-opted by the far-left radicals who control the Democratic Party, right? That's just Trump talking. Biden's pattern of self-dealing behavior will also be all but ignored by the press in the coming months. His brother getting a big piece of a multi-billion-dollar construction contract, his son-in-law's new firm that barely had a website getting access to the Oval Office, and of course, flying his son Hunter to China to help with investment deals or getting him that $50,000 a month retainer. All of that's going to be considered irrelevant and old news. Just last week, we learned that even Biden's cancer nonprofit also was shady, if not corrupt. It closed its doors without giving a single grant for cancer research. They did, however, spend millions on salaries for Biden cronies, conferences, and travel. It fits a long pattern of behavior. Remember, this was the guy who made up portions of his own biography during his first run for president in 1988. He lied with impunity to the crowds. Those lies at that point were exposed by the mainstream press, but this time against Trump, he'll likely get a pass. The media, the left, and big tech smell blood in the water. Every time you pick up your phone, your tablet, your computer, your newspaper, or turn on the television, unless you're watching Newsmax, of course, someone is intentionally trying to fool you into thinking that Joe Biden is a safe, moderate choice to lead. Get ready for it. Collusion to manipulate the voters unlike anything you've ever seen.